Hi guys, good morning. Markin, the dentist today, and I'm trying to record the next episode of Dentinar, but I am out of my office because I am out of town, so different place. I hope that I will be able to do it because I am in public area in Golden Tower in Warsaw, so sometimes a lot of people go around me, but it doesn't matter. Today I will try to tell you something about digital dentistry again, despite that I promised that next time will be about laser dentistry, but you guys had more questions and more interest about digital dentistry. You asked me how is the better way to enter digital world of dentistry. You had some problems and questions what you need to start. So today I am going to show you that in fact you don't need much to start. You can start only with a laboratory scanner and you will be able to do a lot of things in free software as Meshmixer or BluSkyPlan. So my aim is to show you that in fact you can become a skinflint or a niggard of digital dentistry, because you can really work with software that is free, or you can use free options of the software. You don't need the special software designed for dentistry that is expensive, because you can really do a lot of things using only free software, which is just like here Meshmixer or BluSkyPlan. So what I am going to show you on example of one case of immediate implantation of tooth number 46, how you can do a lot of things in this software. And what I used was only impression, single step impression with silicone, which was scanned by my laboratory scanner, CBCT scan, and scan of implant analog and abutment, also done with my laboratory scanner. And with having only this, I was able to plan my implant placement, to create my surgical guide, to create my custom healing abutment, to create implant-based screw retained restoration, and I was able to do it only using this free software, which is Meshmixer, and for planning implant position and creating surgical guide, BluSkyPlan. And what is my aim here? To show you how you are able to do it by using only simple functions of this software. So yes, with my everyday practice I do not use Meshmixer, so I am not master of Meshmixer, but I want to show you that it is not hard, because even a guy like me who does not work with Meshmixer every day is able to do it like this. So here I am showing you everything I done in Meshmixer only in, I don't know, 30 minutes up to 1 hour. So I'm showing you what I was able to design, but I will divide it to parts. So in this movie I will focus on creating surgical guide and preparing model, and other things I will try to show you on next videos, because I think it will be too long to show you everything on one video. So today one part of skinflint dentist. So I will show you how to do completely free digital dentistry by only having laboratory scanner. In fact, you do not need to have your laboratory scanner. You can send scan or gypsum model to scan to somebody that has. Okay, so here we go. We have our scan, which was scanned impression by my laboratory scanner, and my software created a model out of it. I opened this model in Meshmixer now using transform option, which you start by pressing T on your keyboard, and I change position of my model because it was positioned randomly. And now with function of select, I use my mouse cursor pointer to select some parts of the model, to remove it out of the model, because it will be easier to work with model that it is prepared. So I use these options to prepare model for further work. So I remove some artifacts or parts that are not necessary with choosing the select option. Select option works two ways. You can mark your area by using a brush, or you can mark the area by using this line. So my aim here is to remove all these irregularities, because I want to add a base to model, and this software will have problems with these irregularities. So that's why I do it. Okay, so we remove all parts of the model that we don't need. I will just fast forward it, and okay, I think we have it done. And right after that I will again use select function, but this time different way. But first I need to remove all problems out of the model. So for that we use here option analysis, and we choose our inspector, and the software will fix all the problems with our model. Here those problems here are a lot of problems, because as I said, it was a scan of impression, not model. I went with fastest and easiest option, but for designing surgical guide, scan of the impression in my opinion is enough with accuracy, so that's why I choose it like this. So we go with our inspector, we close all the holes, but not the biggest one, which is our base. Then we choose to select again, and we put our cursor on the border, and we click it twice. Then we choose B on our keyboard, we accept, and our border will be smoothed. Then we click T on our keyboard, and we can transform it. So here I just elongate my base of model. I accept it, and again now I will use plane cut function, which will remove too long extension of the model, and additionally it will close the model so it won't be opened on the end. So we choose plane cut, we choose what part of the model we want to cut. If we think it is okay, we accept, and this is how it's going to look. And we got our first version of the model on which we are going to work, and we are going to work on tooth number 46, which we remove out of the model, which we prepare our custom not abutment but view of gingiva, and right after that, let me just check if it is the right video. This one is right. So we go like this. We take select function, we choose our brush, and we mark the area that we want to remove, in which in this case is what is left out of tooth number 46. We try to cut with good precision everything we don't need. So we need to be careful not to mark some areas that we do not want to cut out of the model. Okay, and I will just fast forward it for a little to show you what to do next. We got our tooth almost completely removed, and what we just did here after cutting it, we use inspector to close the holes. To close this whole computer needs a little more time, and as you see, it does not look very good. So what we need to do is to edit it with our brushes. So we use removing function, we use smoothing function, and with this we are going to create our individual gingiva mask here on our model. So before we even removed teeth out of patient mouth, we are forming the shape of gingiva on our digital model, and we can do it very easily with those brushes on in Meshmixer. And with this you can create a really natural emergence profile of your future restoration. In fact, you're able to preserve the natural look of the teeth after you, not the teeth, but gingiva, right after you remove the teeth and place your implant. So we are planning here to remove this teeth and to place an implant immediately right after extraction with our surgical guide, and everything will be covered with individual hearing abutment or maybe immediate crown. It depends on what primary stabilization we will get, but we are designing something that will close our implant right after its placement, and we can prepare it everything on Meshmixer and BluSkyPlan, and this is what I'm going to show you. So here we are forming our gingiva shape, and this model, which is, let's say, ready for right now, we are going to export as our first model. what we are going to do next is to prepare the model with walks-up, so with teeth number 46 on its place. So I do not need to use any library of the tooth, because in fact I can use teeth of patient to do it. So for this purpose I mark teeth 47 with my select function, and I will separate it out of the model with a separate function. Then I will duplicate it, and I will put teeth number 47 on the area of the first molar, and I will just rotate it, change the shape or size a little, and I will adjust it to area of first molar, and I will be able to make a walks-up out of it that will help me to place my implant in the right position to create better possibility for having future crowned screw retained. And this is why I start planning of my implant placement from placing a crown on the model on which I first virtually removed what was left out of teeth number 46. So I think you know how to do it, so I will just fast forward it a little, and after I have it placed, I do the same what I did with model. So I click twice on the border, I press B on my keyboard, I accept it to smooth the border, I press T, and I elongate the base of the teeth, and after that I will combine all the objects and I will have model with my walks-up. And in fact it not need to be on very accurate position, because it's just for placing. Or maybe if you design the crown, yes, then you need to adjust it much better. For these purposes I just place it like this, and I export this model again as STL file to use it in BluSkyPlan to create my surgical guide. And again on the next video I will change the software. We will go sorry, this is not this video. Let me just find it. Now we are in BluSkyPlan, we opened our CT scan, and now we are going to import the model that we prepared. In fact, we are going to import two models. First, the model with our gingiva shape that we prepared, and second, the model with our walks-up. On the model with the gingiva shape, we will design our surgical guide and something more what I will show you. And on the model of with walks-up, we will place our implant correctly to in the position that will enable us to have our screwing hole in the middle of the crown. So first we need to align the meshes or mesh with CT scan. On this for this purposes we need to match the reference points on the same areas on CT and on model. Sometimes the software will do it by itself, but in fact for me this option does not work very often, so I need to do it manually, but it does not take a lot of time. So you mark 4 points on CT, 4 points on model, and there you go. You let the software to calculate a little, and it will align 2 meshes. So this is the first model. Then we need to do the same thing with the other model, but first we check if the matching is accurate, and here you can see that it is, because all the points are correctly placed. So then we choose second model and we do the same, but the difference in here is that you already have points on CT scan marked, so you will need to go only with marking the points on model. But I think you need the best option is to place them in the same not the direction, but in the same order. So first SU on the first CTU placed on the molar, canine, and molar. You need to do it the same way. So you mark the points, and again software need to calculate a little, and there you go. You got the meshes aligned. Alignment is correct, so we can go further with our design. Our next step will be marking inferior alveolar nerve, on which I first tried to panoramic view, but it was not done correctly. So we choose add nerve function here. We click add nerve. We go on, I prefer on this view, and I mark nerve. I move a little my view. I mark nerve again and again and again, and so on, up till the mental foramen, and we are done. We click twice to accept, and this is it. Okay, we got our nerve marked, and now we can go with placing our implant. So we will need to go to implant list, and we choose OLTS guide. Oh, and first I measured the length of the area on which we are going to plan our implant placement, and in this case I decided to use 11.5 millimeter implant. So in our add implant function we will design this kind of implant, but first I need to change my guide for custom guide. So we go we will do it in implant list here, and after that we use add implant function, and we will place our implant. We choose our orientation as mandible, because this is lower implant. We choose custom implant. We place our parameters here. So 11.5, diameter for 5 millimeters, because this was my my choice in this case. Then we select abutment. We choose our abutment parameters. So this is what you need to do by yourself. And after that, we are going to design a guide tube on which we place our offset parameter, height and diameter. Little tip here: as you use your 3D printer to print your guide, give here couple millimeters, not millimeters, but hundreds of millimeters more, to not have your hole too tight, because your drill won't be able to fit in it. Okay, so we place our implant first on panoramic view, and now we will use our CT scans and our model with WorkSap to place our implant correctly. So what we want to do here is to place our implant in this position, that our screwing hole will be in the middle, in center of our WorkSap crown of first molar. So this is our goal here. So we use different views of CT first to place our implant virtual way, and then we are going to adjust it to our WorkSap. So it's very easy. You just use these drag functions here, and you place your implants in the area where the crown requires it. So you can turn off the view of CT, you can watch it from every angle you need. So this is what we are going basically to do. So I always spend some time on it, because it's important, the most important part here. And now when I finally decided that the placement is correct, I check it on the model with gingiva shape if everything is okay, and on this model I will design my surgical guide. So let's check. Okay, everything is correct in my opinion. So we go further with next design. Okay, so now we are going to design our template. So we choose a model with gingiva shape. We turn off CT view, and we go here into guide panel. Okay, guide panel. We choose draw curve here, and we press shift on our keyboard, and we start drawing the shape of our future template. For these purposes, I showed you that our template will be on entire teeth arc, but in my opinion, for implant placement of only a single implant, I think passing only through middle line here will be enough. You do not need to prepare your template for entire teeth arc. Okay, now you can edit your curve, so you just move those points here if you think something is incorrect. So I adjust it a little, and after that here is the option. If you click with your right mouse button, you can choose add window. So the window will be the window in your templates in which you will be able to see if your template fits correctly on your teeth. So we will design two windows that on the 3D printed template we are able to check in the patient's mouth if it fits correctly. So for this template I created two windows. Okay, this is it. And now we will choose function here, create surgical guide, and BluSkyPlan will calculate our template. Okay, so we are waiting a little for the software to calculate, to fabricate our guide, and this is it. And the next function is to click Save Surgical Guide to export your file as STL. And this function, in fact, is not free in BluSkyPlan, and it costs about, I don't know, $10 or $15. It doesn't matter because you are still able to do it free, but I am not allowed to tell it in a public video. So if you are interested how to do it, just write to me, ask me, and I will try to help you to know how to do it without any payments, because it is possible. Okay, so we exported our guide, and you can see that it is here. So we have our guide ready for 3D printing for our surgical procedure. But it's not the end, because I will, using this function, I will design something more, and this will be the basis of my future custom healing abutment. So in fact I will mark the area of my shape here, and the software will calculate something that will look like copy of this area, or we can call it like this, and we will use it in Meshmixer to create our individual healing abutment. But in fact I will show you two ways how to do it, because this is the one way, and the other way is to do it completely in Meshmixer, but it will be the topic of the next videos. But I did it here just to do it in one time. So I mark the area I corrected, and again I will click create surgical guide, and then I will export what the software will create here. And on the next video I will show you how to edit this STL file in Meshmixer to get individual healing abutment that you also can 3D print, and you will use it to close implanted area by screwing it into your implant, and it will give you two benefits. First, you will be able to easily close the area of implanted area in mandible without any grafting, without cutting the palate and so on. This is first advantage. And the second, there was a second, and I wanted to tell you about it. The second is that you will preserve the shape of gingiva completely the same as was in this area when the teeth was there. So you won't lose in structure of all the area there. So now we are back in Meshmixer, and here you can see what I was able to design in the Meshmixer only with having this model created by a scan with intraoral scanner. And what I also did was I exported from BluSkyPlan model with position of this implant. So this is what we received from BluSkyPlan. We exported it, and as you can see, I aligned it to the implant analog, which I also scanned with my laboratory scanner, with my abutment, which was screwed to my analog. On this I designed also here by choosing with these elements a custom healing abutment with adjusted to my T-base here. On this I designed implant screw retained crown, which for design of which I used shape of teeth number 47. So I did not use any tooth library, so I did not need to pay for anything. So everything here was done in Meshmixer without any additional software, except BluSkyPlan to place the implant in the correct position. So on the next videos I will show you how to design custom healing abutment, how to design screw retained implant crown also in the Meshmixer. So I will, if you take this all together, you will be able to design your surgical template completely free, to design and print custom healing abutment also in Meshmixer, so completely free, and to close implanted area right after implant placement very easily. And you will be able to design temporary implant crown, which you will be able to screw into implant, or right after the implant placement if your primary stability is good and you want to go this way, or you are able to screw it maybe after a couple of months. It's up to you, but you are able to do everything here in Meshmixer very easily. So this is a very good situation for you. So this was the first episode of let's say free digital dentistry by Skinflint dentist, which aim was to show you that with only very simple free tools you are able to design and prepare a lot of things in your computer before you even touch your patient, and makes you what makes you prepared for your surgical procedure much better, because you you decided what will be the position of your implant before starting the surgical procedure. You get the surgical guide that will guide you directly with placing your implant, and with immediate implant placement it's not so easy to place the implant in the exact position you want. Then you, right after implant placement, can screw in custom healing abutment or temporary screw retained crown, which is ready before you even started your procedure. So you can choose either you want to use abutment or temporary crown, it's up to you, but you got it ready. So you save much time by doing it this way during your procedure. So it is very, very important. And in fact, if you will teach your assistant or your hygienist to do it like this, the only thing you will need to do by yourself is to design to place the implant correctly and maybe adjust the crown, and all the other stuff can be done by your personnel, and you will save a lot of time, because you will reduce the procedure time, and the effect you will get will be much better. And I think this is the most important, because crown that is screw retained on the custom abutment looks much more natural. So that's it for today. Next part of it will be next week, and on this video I will show you how to design a custom healing abutment and a temporary screw retained crown in Meshmixer, so also completely free. And as you can see, digital dentistry can be free and not so difficult. Take care and see you next time. Bye.